after admitting to manipulating what you saw on Facebook last election cycle.
So you guys censored that as well?
If something is reported to us as potentially misinformation, basically the ranking in newsfeed was a little bit less. So fewer people saw it than would have otherwise.
Mark Zuckerberg tried to rebrand himself as some sort of freedom-loving patriot, even praising President Donald Trump.
Seeing Donald Trump get up after getting shot in the face and pump his fist in the air with the American flag is one of the most badass things I've ever seen in my life.
But then his Facebook immediately went back to their old games by censoring the image of Trump surviving the attempt on his life, stating that it was an altered photo/video, as according to Meta, independent fact-checkers said it was altered in a way that could mislead people, so they will hide the users that post this image. And it's crazy because the whole world saw this happen live, but the only way I can even talk about it is with this YouTube-safe anime version of the event, because even with Meta's AI chatbot, people report they won't even acknowledge the attempt on Trump as it happened on July 13th and it's too new. But when asked about Kamala Harris's presidential campaign, they have all sorts of information regarding what happened on July 21st. And when questioned why it's so selective, they state the attempt on Trump is a fictional event. We are witnessing in real time how a story gets conveniently scrubbed from reality, as everybody saw this play out right when it happened, but as soon as the narrative started getting out of control, raising too many questions about the inconsistencies in their official story, it's suddenly being labeled as altered, misleading, and now fictional, not because it's false, but because the truth will lead to people escaping their carefully curated echo chamber. As this single moment put Trump ahead in all the presidential polls. And looking at the campaign contributions for last election cycle, Facebook swayed heavily in favor of the Democrats, curiously alongside Alphabet, who also seems to be suppressing searches for this same exact incident, which comes to no surprise as they did the same to my video right as it began to go viral. But more alarmingly, if you Google search Kamala Harris, you of course get results for Kamala and her campaign. But if you search for Donald Trump, the top news stories are all about Harris. Or worse, stories about a falsely framed clip purposely misleading you about Trump's campaign, as they all parrot the Wall Street Journal's post about Trump telling Christians you won't have to vote anymore if he's elected, which has this oddly cut off clip.
You gotta get out and vote. In 4 years you don't have to vote again.
So why did the Wall Street Journal literally cut Trump off mid-word? Maybe it's because if they played the full clip, they couldn't fearmonger off what he's really saying, as the full context tells an entirely different story.
And I will secure our elections. Our goal will be, as I said, one-day voting with paper ballots, proof of citizenship, and a thing called voter ID. To save America, get your friends, get your family, get everyone you know, and vote. Vote early. Vote absentee, vote on election day, I don't care how, but you have to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
And as someone that does concise commentary, I can understand why you trim a long-winded Trump speech down to a few specific talking points. But they weren't doing it for the sake of saving time, they were doing it to completely change his message to purposely manipulate you into thinking that Trump was going to end democracy and become a dictator. So of course Rolling Stone runs with the narrative, saying Republicans are shrugging at that out-of-context clip that hints that Trump wants to become a dictator. So then Reddit repeats their lies with a post that received over 44,000 upvotes, with the top replies parroting that Trump is a dictator, stating that he's somehow the Antichrist, and claiming that his supporters are in a literal cult. Mind you, these are the same people that saw this nonsense and thought, yes, this magically makes Trump's Operation Warp Speed suddenly something they immediately need injected into their body. And although this seems silly to us, it apparently worked on a lot of people. Not necessarily that specific TV skit, but the top-to-bottom bombardment on the television, social media, and pop culture overall, all parroting the same exact talking points, just until the more malleable masses will accept it as an undeniable fact, the same way Trump can make the clearest statement possible.
So you wouldn't support a national ban?
No, I wouldn't support a national ban. No, I would not.
But then Kamala will come back with this.
The former president wants to pass a national abortion ban.
And repeat it.
If Trump gets the chance, he will sign a national abortion ban.
Hoping you'll accept her version of the truth.
If Donald Trump gets the chance, he will
sign a national abortion ban.
So when she tweets the same thing again, Elon Musk's own X uses community notes to not only tag her lie, but provide sources, as Musk himself calls her out on it. And this isn't the only occurrence, as the media tried to deny Kamala bailed out criminals with the Minnesota Freedom Fund, while on Twitter, she still has the tweet asking people to post bail through that exact organization, giving the Democrats their cut through their Act Blue donation website. So when the WCCO, Minnesota's CBS affiliate, reports their story, it again took Twitter community notes to clarify that their article is indeed a lie. So no wonder sometimes it seems like Americans can live in two entirely different worlds, where if you get all your news information from the corporate dinosaur media in places like Facebook, you probably don't even think the attempt on Trump's life even occurred, as one, you're shielded from even seeing the event happening in the first place, and two, every so-called reputable news source is telling you, in case you did see it, no, you in fact didn't see it. Those videos and images that you saw with your own eyes are actually fictitious. Now watch our 10-second out-of-context clip of Trump announcing that he's a dictator. While on the other side, if you have the free time to comb through Twitter, or at the very least watch and subscribe to this channel, you would see an entirely different reality because you were able to see it for yourself without someone trying to give you the verdict before the evidence is even collected. As sadly, nothing scares them more than the masses being able to simply see things for themselves. So when Elon reposts an obviously AI parody of Kamala, California's Governor Gavin Newsom got all riled up and immediately began working on a bill to outlaw this. So Elon replied by saying he checked with Professor Inhale My Front Tail, pointing out how parody is still legal. And as someone that's extensively covered the evolution of AI videos, I agree that it's scary, but not something that government regulation can necessarily solve. And especially as someone that's lived in Newsom's California, he has several issues that are of greater concern, like the southern border, or at the very least, the rampant crime that plagues the entire state, where they even had to roll out these samurai cowboy cops to take back their beach. But no, Newsom's primary focus is on what Elon Musk is doing with his many businesses that fled his state over Gavin's own failed policies, as apparently the governor of California isn't focused on fixing California, he's claiming legislation will control the evolution of AI technology. But I think even he knows he's too stupid to do that, so this isn't about AI ads, this is about attacking Twitter and the free flow of information to voters. As the media is now trying to memory hole Kamala being the border czar, all parroting the lie that she never held the title, as obviously, being the border czar of a failed border destroys her campaign. But on Twitter, you can easily see her accepting the assignment. Videos of Biden giving her the responsibility.
I've asked her, the VP today, because she's the most qualified person to do it, to lead our efforts with Mexico and the Northern Triangle.
And links to the official government documents online dubbing Kamala as Biden's border czar. And again, without Twitter, low-information voters would be forced to simply accept the mainstream media repeating the same lie, that even though you very clearly recall the same members of the media saying Kamala is now the border czar, they're now telling you no, you're misremembering. Trust us, we're the same people that told you don't wear masks, but then do wear masks, then get this medicine to not wear the mask, then you might still need to wear the mask, you just need more medicine, but when double the doses don't do enough, maybe more masking might help. Hey look, there's a war over there, we're suddenly not wearing masks anymore. And in case you forgot that's exactly how it went down, remember how afraid the media made the masses. Nothing actually solved the issue, they suddenly just moved on to the next thing. So no wonder they think they can get away with deleting how Kamala was selected as vice president in the name of DEI, where they openly boasted specifically choosing her for her race and gender. And less than a month ago, President Biden himself specifically labeled his VP with DEI. And honestly, I could keep calling out these blatant lies for hours, but I think you get the picture. Whenever the truth contradicts the media's preferred reality, they simply lie about what happened, report on each other's lies, then use that to fact-check social media posts pointing out their lies, all in an attempt to control the minds of the more easily manipulated. That's why I don't listen to the reporting that suddenly Trump is losing all the swing states to Kamala, as other polls right after show no such thing. And despite all the North Korean-style propaganda she receives, Kamala is still historically despised by Americans, as the media expects you to see inside these rallies for Harris.
Harris, y'all ready to get this party started?
As somehow more support than what's on the outside of Trump's rallies. And remember, these people are still showing up to his rallies after somebody randomly lost their life for being in the audience. So I don't know about you, but despite all their desperate attempts at social media manipulation, I think the tides are starting to turn. You watching this entire video is evidence, and every time you share this, the wave keeps doubling in size. So if you appreciate my concise, light-order commentary on what's really going on in the world, hopefully I've earned your subscription, then go check out the video on what happens when celebrities finally find out Biden can no longer protect them.